Today we want to beat every single Pokemon champion with just a Charizard, and there's quite a lot of champions now. Charizard is a huge fan favourite and one of mine personally, so I thought it would be fun for us to use him first. I expect we can do this challenge, but in the later gens it's probably going to be a lot of setting up with moves like Dragon Dance and Swords Dance, so let's go over some brief rules. I'm only going to use Charizard in battle. I won't use any held items. I'll use each feature involved though if it's available to Charizard, like Mega Evolution or Dynamax. And finally, I'll try and stay at a reasonable level, but if we do need to level up to win, we will do so. And as a side note, I won't be playing remakes of the same game, so if we play Red, we won't play Fire Red for example. So let's just get started. First up is Pokemon Yellow, and we have the champion for this game, Blue. His team isn't a monotype though, and he has a wide range of different Pokemon. Our Charizard is level 82 at this point of the game. We had to be a bit of a higher level to even get past Lance, so let's give our first champion battle a try. So in Pokemon Yellow, Blue's a bit more of a joke to be honest. He doesn't have a starter as he chooses Eevee, and that gives him a Jolteon, the hardest for us. But at our level, Charizard can just kind of sweep through his team. In Gen 1, crit is tied to your speed, and as Charizard is fast, we can crit a lot. He leads with a Sandslash, but he can't stand to one flamethrower, and it takes him out. Next up is Alakazam. He lives a flamethrower, but misses a Kinesis, so we can take out him also. His third Pokemon is Executor, but being Grass and Psychic, one flamethrower takes him down. Fourth is Cloyster. We critical hit a Slash to take him to half as he misses a Hydro Pump, so we can take him out the turn after. Out comes Ninetales, but we don't quite do enough damage to finish off the Fox, so he confuses us. But after a weak quick attack, we can break through the confusion and defeat him. Lastly is his ace, Jolteon. We snap out of confusion and one flamethrower is enough to make quick work of this fight. Honestly, Lance was more of a brick wall than this guy, so we beat him attempt 1. Let's move on to Generation 2. Lance is a champion of Generation 2, and looking at his team, he has a lot of electric, water and rock moves, so that's not good for our Charizard. Let's give it a go. He leads with Gyarados. Our Charizard goes for a return, but we don't quite do enough damage with it, as Gyarados sets up the rain, so he's reducing our fire type attacks and allowing his next Pokemon that comes out, Dragonite, to do something bad to us. We Dragon Breath for over half as he paralyzes us, reducing our speed. The next turn he hits a Thunder, doing just under half, as we connect a Dragon Breath, taking him down. The third Dragonite hits a Blizzard for very little damage, as Dragon Breath doesn't quite secure the KO on him, but the good thing is the rain has stopped now. He hits us with a Hyper Beam, leaving us with only 63 HP and paralysed, meaning Aerodactyl can come out and Rock Slide us. Okay, we may have to be a bit of a higher level or just get a bit better luck. Let's try it again. So we're 2 levels higher now, and this run we got stupidly lucky. We don't quite take out the Gyarados still with one return, so he goes for a Rain Dance as usual. We can take him out the following turn, and then out comes his threats. We Dragon Breath the Dragonite and we get a critical hit, so that's one dragon taken care of. He then brings out his second Dragonite. We go for another Dragon Breath and we get the Paralyze this time, and he can't attack because he's fully paralysed. This RNG is starting to be pretty nuts, so we take him out the following turn. Then is Aerodactyl. This thing, if it crits, can just one-shot me. So we Dragon Breath for just over half. We paralyse him also, but he does connect to Rock Slide, almost taking us out in just one attack. One more move and the Rock type falls. His Charizard is no match for our monster and he can't survive a single hit either. But he has a level 50 Dragonite now, and I don't think we can live a hit. We don't kill him with one move, but we get another Paralyze. Landfall restores his Dragonite, but it's in vain. We're faster, so we can just keep Dragon Breath in, and the Champion of Dragon falls. With that beat, let's move on to Generation 3. Okay, on to Pokemon Ruby. Steven is the champion here, and he has a lot of Rock-type Pokemon, but also Steel, so this may be a difficult one. Leads with Skarmory, and we lead with Charizard. This is a perfect time to set up some Dragon Dances. Skarmory just goes for Spikes, so we can set up again and we go to a +2. However, he poisons us, so now we're on a timer. We can one-shot the Skarmory with a super effective flamethrower, and out next is Claydol. Even at a +2 attack, this thing tanks a Dragon Claw and throws some rocks at us, sealing our fate. I guess we can try to get to a +4 on Skarmory and go for a sweep. On our next attempt, we get our 4 Dragon Dances, boosting an insane +4 attack before we can take down the Skarmory with one move as usual. Claydol is next and we hit a Dragon Claw, and even at +4 attack, we don't even do half, ending this attempt also. On our third attempt, we can finally take down the Claydol, but then he has another brick wall for us, Cradilly. 1 ancient power, this attempt is sealed also. Fourth attempt, and at level 66, I decide to switch up strategy here a little bit and go for a flamethrower turn 1 and not put ourselves on a timer for the rest of the fight. But the issue there is we have no boost for Claydol, so we can go for a Dragon Dance on him as he actually opts to set up a light screen instead. With that, I go for a super effective Iron Tail and we do around 75% as he sets up and the other screen Reflect. Steven full restores and I know this is going to happen, so I can boost our attack yet again. We go for an Iron Tail, but his weak accuracy hurts us here, and Claydol hits us for an ancient power and gets a full stat raise because of course he does, leaving our attack with the boost and screen doing nothing, and that ends that attempt. Our next tries are awful too, with confusions and toxic misses and crits and just not doing enough damage. I'm starting to think we might need to seriously level up. It takes us only until attempt 10 where we finally get this run at level 75. So we take down this steel bird with a flamethrower from our mouth as usual, and we have hidden power now. We do 50% of Claydol's HP with it as he sets up a light screen. One more attack takes him to the red, and then he throws some rocks at us, doing okay damage. He heals on the next turn, so it's prime time for us to start dancing. I miss an Iron Tail however, and I take more rocks being thrown at me before we can fire off an Iron Tail, leaving him on only a couple of HP before he takes us all the way down to 12 with more rocks. We finish it off with hidden power, but he's activated our secret ability, Blaze. Now we can burn the grass rock Pokemon with a flamethrower, finally getting past his third Pokemon. Next is our Maldo, but it's a bug type also, so flamethrower from us and the bug goes down. Aggron comes out, but he suffers the same fate and goes down in one attack also. Finally is his ace Metagross, but being steel type he can't take the heat and we finally beat Steven. This was a lot more difficult than I thought it would be. Moving on to Gen 4 now. Cynthia's team has 2 major threats that I can see, Milotic and Garchomp. We're a bit over leveled here and we had to be, as most of you that have played Platinum might know about a little old Elite 4 member called Bertha. She makes fire types runs extremely hard in this game, and having only a Charizard made it incredibly hard to even get to Cynthia. But let's get into the battle. We have a healing move now, Roost, so we might be using it a lot from here on. She leads with Spirit Tomb and we set up a Dragon Dance. She Dark Pulses us for like okay damage and we boost our stats again. She takes us to 85 HP with a pulse before we heal it off. It becomes a trade at this point of roosting and Dragon Dancing until we have enough stats and enough HP left. We finally have nearly max stats and we can take out Spirit Tomb with 1 Earthquake. As bulky as the next Pokemon is, Milotic, we're 2 boosted and it can't handle an Earthquake either. Togekiss falls to 1 Rock Slide and then out comes her monster, Garchomp. It lives an attack on only a sliver of HP, heals with its berry and misses a Dragon Rush, leading for us to take it out the following turn. Lucario is a steel type, so it has no chance versus us either, and her last Pokemon is a Roserade. It's part poison, so that allows us to beat Cynthia attempt 1. Moving on to Generation 5, and these games have 2 different champions. In Black and White it's Alder, and in the sequels it's Iris, so we can take them both on. First up we have Alder. He has a very diverse team, but the problem with Alder is his first Pokemon can't do a thing to us. Like genuinely, this allows us to get to the max possible stats boost from Dragon Dance. So that means Aselgo falls to 1 Fire Fang, Buffalant falls to an Earthquake, Escavalier falls to a Fire Fang, Volcarona falls to an Earthquake, Druddigon falls to an Earthquake, and Vanillux, his last Pokemon, falls to a Fire Fang, giving us a victory. Back to back easy fights makes me feel a lot better about Steven, so let's move on to Iris. So looking at her team, and I can see a major problem already. Her Hydreigon is her lead and it knows Surf. We don't have much of a level advantage here, so I go for a Swords Dance to boost our attack. She fires off a Surf doing nearly half. I opt to go for another dance here as she puts us in the red, so we need to heal with Roost, but Surf is doing just about as much damage as we do healing. She opts to go for a Dragon Pulse, but critical hits us, so we have to keep healing. The fight becomes a stalemate of healing off the damage as then Hydreigon goes for a Charge Beam, forcing us to attack with the special attack boost. We Dragon Claw for the one shot on Hydreigon and Druddigon falls to the same attack. Archeops is next, but 1 Dragon Claw is enough for him. Aggron can't live to an earthquake, then comes Lapras. I'm worried about this thing, but I'm hoping we can take it out. We go for a Dragon Claw, but she barely hangs on and hits a massive Surf, taking us to only 5 HP. Iris heals it up, but it's in vain as we're doing too much damage and we take out the Lapras. Finally is Haxorus. We can take it out with a Dragon Claw, but it has a Focus Sash, so any attack of hers takes us down. That went really well for a first attempt. With maybe a level or two, I think we can probably do this. Our next try goes poorly as Hydreigon takes us out with Surfs. If he critical hits us, it's over. If he gets back-to-back high rolls, it's over. We try again and we take out Hydreigon fairly early on this time, and I opt to see if I can set up on Druddigon instead. I completely forgot though this thing has Rock Slide though, and we take massive damage from it, leading to us not having any boost or HP to deal with Archeops, who just takes us out with an Acrobatics. We try attempt 4 at level 65 and go for the usual Swords Dance on Hydreigon. I get greedy though and try to set up another thinking I can live, but he crits us, ending this try also. I focus up and go for it now. I'm going to be completely honest with you, we have to stall and set up here a lot to even get past Hydreigon. It's got great special attack and has a super effective move against us. There is no chance that we can beat her unless we can be at a reasonably high HP and have a lot of boost by the time we take down Hydreigon. So the start of the fight is literally just exchanging sword dances, roosts and surf attacks. We finally get to high HP, Hydreigon goes for a flamethrower attack too, and now we can go for the win. We take out Hydreigon with a Dragon Claw. Druddigon comes out but falls to our claws as well. Archeops is next, but he can't withstand our attack and he goes down. Aggron falls over to a massive earthquake from Charizard, and then is Lapras. We get a critical hit Dragon Claw, taking it down in one move, but with the level boost I'm not sure it even mattered. That leaves us with high HP for Haxorus, so we can take him down to his sash with a move as he goes for a Dragon Dance. Iris will heal here though, and with his sash being consumed, we can take him down with just one more move, leaving Gen 5 champions beat. On to my favourite game now. So we're on to Generation 6, and we have Diantha as the champion. She has some threats like Gardevoir and 2 rock types, so this may be difficult, but we can use Mega Evolution. So she leads with Hawlucha, and we go for a Mega Evolution into Charizard X, giving us the ability Tough Claws. We can set up a Dragon Dance, and he hits a super weak Poison Jab. We opt to go for another boost here, as Hawlucha hits a Flying Press, still doing very little damage, but we are at nearly half HP. So I decide to take down the human bird slash wrestler with a Dragon Claw. She sends out Tyrantrum next, and amazing design, I really like this. It however falls to just one super effective attack. Gudra comes out and it does have some bulk, but it's not enough for a Tough Claws boosted Dragon Claw and falls down shortly after. Aurorus is out and this is another one of a threat, but if we connect a super effective Stone Edge, as we do, we get the one shot. Galgeist is her 5th Pokemon, but we have another claw attack, Shadow Claw, and it's super effective, so she goes down in one move also. Finally, it's Mega versus Mega, as she Mega evolves her Gardevoir, but a super effective Shadow Claw takes her out, giving us an absolute clean sweep over Gen 6. Time to fly over to Alola now. These games are a bit different than your usual champion fight, as you're fighting to become the champion rather than beating the current one. So let's fight how. He has a Raichu that I can see that stands out as his first Pokemon, so this might be rough. Our first battle goes like this. He has an Alolan Raichu and that outspeeds us and hits a Thunderbolt for nearly a KO as we go for a Dragon Dance. We can't live another attack, so we have to go for a Crunch to take it out, as it's part Psychic type. Up next is Crabominable, and this thing has Stone Edge, so I go for a Z move and use Bloom Doom, thinking all the Z power should give us enough damage to take down the Ice Crab in one attack. However, we only take it to the red, leading it to KOing us with a Stone Edge. Nice, good attempt. Next try, we go for a different moveset, and he Thunderbolts us as always. I go for a Roost, but it's a really bad misplay on my behalf, and he takes us out next turn. Let's just completely forget about this one. Okay, so let's focus up a bit and try again. We level up quite a lot and get this run. We finally outspeed Raichu and we set up a Dragon Dance, but his Thunderbolt still nearly takes us out, so we have to take it out next turn with a Fire Fang. The Ice Crab is out next and we hit a Fire Fang for a super effective hit and we get to take it down. Third is Tauros. Now this thing is an issue. It has Intimidate, so it lowers our attack boost. So we go for a Roost and I see it goes for a Double Edge, doing about as much damage as I heal off. But he's taking damage in recoil, so the plan is to stall it out until it's in the red, then boost up when Hau heals Tauros. The plan works. I go for a Dragon Claw, but it doesn't do enough damage to take it out, and it takes us to red with a Double Edge. I heal on the next double edge, but after his final attack we don't have much HP left. Noivern comes out and we heal, but he's doing pretty solid damage with Dragon Pulse, and a critical hit will end us. So on about 81 HP, I opt to go for a Dragon Claw, taking down Noivern. Incineroar's next, and I go for a Dragon Claw, but he eats it like a champion. Do you get it? And takes us to 2 HP with a Darkest Lariat. We can finish it off with another move, but his last Pokemon is Leafeon, and we know from its moveset it has quick attack, so it finishes us off. I think if we fine tune our stalling and heal and set up at the right time, we can probably beat him. We start off the battle the exact same way. We get a Dragon Dance up while we eat a Thunderbolt from Raichu. We take out Raichu the next turn in one move. Ice Crab comes out, but it's the same story, he goes down again in one move. On to Tauros. We use this time to set up Dragon Dances while we Roost Stall his double edges. Then we can take him out with a Dragon Claw. Noivern is out, and we use this Pokemon to regain most of our HP before we take him out with a Dragon Claw also. Incineroar is up next, and I opt to go for a Z-powered Devastating Drakes in the hope we do enough damage just to knock it out. And we do, thankfully. So Incineroar's down in one Z move, leaving just a Leafeon. This takes a super effective boosted Fire Fang, taking out How and making us the Alolan champion. On to Generation 8 and on to the Switch games. The champion for Sword and Shield is Leon. His team is pretty diverse, with his biggest threats definitely being that Inteleon and Charizard. He leads off with Aegislash, and of course we have Charizard. If we attack into the King Shield though, we're going to lose our attack, so we've got to try and play this right. Turn 1 he goes for a King Shield, so we go for a Dragon Dance to boost our stats. Turn 2 he goes for another King Shield, and we boost our stats again. If this keeps on going, we can definitely sweep him. Turn 3 we go for a boost again, and he hits a Shadow Ball for nearly half, and gets a special defense dropped. I opt to go for another boost, thinking if we can live another attack, get put into Blaze, we can win the fight in just one go. So after that, we Fire Fang the Aegislash for a one-hit KO. Next is Dragapult, but one Dragon Claw sends him back to live with his ghost friends. Mr. Rime comes out and gets chomped with a Fire Fang, and then is Inteleon. A boosted Dragon Claw, however, means he ain't going to survive an attack, and he goes down as well. Haxorus is weak to Dragon type attacks, so one more seals that guy's fate also, leaving last his Ace. This is the time for me to Dynamax, and he Gigantamaxes. We go for a Max Wormwind, I think I said that right, and we take him all the way to the red, but he survives, meaning one move from him takes us out. Honestly, not bad for a first try. I bet we can beat him if we play that a little bit better. Our next attempt goes slightly better at the start, however Inteleon lives a Dragon Claw this time, leading for it to annihilate us with one sniper shot. It's such fine margins, either we need to boost more or be a higher level. It's amazing how easy some champions are for us to fight, and how difficult others are. I think though if we swap out a move for Rock Tomb, we can win this fight doing the same strategy as we did attempt 1. So we start the battle off next time, boosting our attack as Aegislash decides turn 1 to fire off a Shadow Ball for around half our health. We need to boost again though to get past Inteleon, so we tank another Shadow Ball, taking us to Blaze. With Blaze in our boost, we can proceed to take out the Aegislash with a Fire Fang. Then Dragapult will go down with a Dragon Claw, Mr. Rime will go down to a Fire Fang, and this time Inteleon falls to a Dragon Claw as well. Haxorus is still an easy target for us, so we take him out in one move too, leaving Charizard. After we both Dynamax and Gigantamax, we got to hope that a Max Rockfall does enough damage, and it does, giving us our Gen 8 win over Leon, leaving us only one more champion to go in the series for Charizard, and that's the latest. Last on our champion run is Jitter, Pokemon's Scarlet and Violet's champion, and she has threats like Veluza and Erase Glimora. Her lead is Espartha, and we go for a Dragon Dance as she hits a Lumina Crash doing solid damage. I'm not bothered about her ability Opportunist, as her attacks are special attack orientated anyway. With the special defense drop we can't take another attack, so we KO it with a Crunch. King Gambit is up next, and this thing looks insane by the way. I misclicked a Crunch and luckily we dodge a Stone Edge. We Fire Fang, but it lives on about 1 HP, and we dodge another Stone Edge. RNG is going to carry us to victory. Next up, Veluza, but being part Psychic type means it goes down to a critical hit Crunch. Golgoat comes out next, and I go for a Dragon Dance and take a Zen Headbutt. Now it's time to Terastallize into the Fire type, boosting our fire moves even more. One Fire Fang and we take down the Goat. Avalugg is the next Pokemon. We go for a boosted Fire Fang, but its bulk is just too much and we don't KO it, leading it to hit us with an Earthquake, taking us down. So we level up Charizard to about level 70 and we try again. However, King Gambit lives a boosted Fire Fang and takes us out with Stone Edge this time. I'm not quite sure how he lived again this turn, but that is really not good for us. This time, Espartha actually goes for a Reflect rather than a Lumina Crash, so she allowed us to get up 3 Dragon Dances, meaning when it came to Avalugg, we can take it out with a Fire Fang, leaving only Glamora left. This thing terrestrializes into just a pure Rock type, however, and even with all our attack boosts and a Blaze boost, Fire Fang just doesn't do enough damage to her, so one attack KOs us. I think I've got the perfect move to win us this challenge. So we set up on Espartha and she hits us with a Lumina Crash. I know we can live one more now, taking us to a +2 attack and putting us in range for Blaze when she attacks us again. So then we crunch the Espartha for a 1-hit KO. We take no chances and terrestrialize on King Gambit so we can take it out with a Fire Fang that's extremely boosted now. Avalugg has no chance to stand the heat and melts next. The loser comes out and a crunch means we eat alive the fish. Go-Go is out, but Goat's on the menu today as he gets cooked too, leaving only Glamora left. But we have the perfect move for it now. She terrestrializes and we go for a boosted Earthquake, taking down her last Pokemon, and that means we beat every single champion with just Charizard. Honestly, this was a super fun run to do, and it was my first attempt at something like this. It was also a bit harder than I thought it would be with only a Charizard, even though the second half of the champions we have access to boosting moves. If you guys have any feedback, good or bad, do let me know. I'm only going to keep improving from here on out. If you want more content like this, consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video.